Hey, welcome back to another video. I'm here in my apartment and it's raining outside. Weird weather for summer. We've had really good weather up until this point. It's just, I think everyone's going back to work next week and the weather is feeling how we're all feeling, so. Anyway, today I thought I would do a video on my favorite interior design stores, places to buy furniture, homewares, art, that sort of thing, because I think there's a sea of stores out there and it can be really hard to navigate when you're trying to find specific pieces but just don't know where to look. So I thought I would share some of my favorite places for interior design purchases. So yeah, let's get into the video. The first store that I wanted to share with you is First Dibs. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of it. It's got some really good pieces that you can find on here, and I think it's also just a really good source of inspiration when thinking about curating things. So even if we just type in here mid-century modern furniture and see what comes up. There are so many good pieces, and yes, there's so much on here that it can be really hard sometimes to sort of navigate. Oh, I love that chair. That is so cool. And those are amazing. And you know, like, look at this, like a box is $6,000, nearly $7,000. But if you kind of start filtering through and putting in filters on the side here, for example, like if I do price, let's just say like $500. See what comes up. And like there are still some really great items on here and things that, you know, are super affordable and unique, and you're not just having to go to like IKEA or one of those stores to find items. Like these things are going to add so much more character to your home and are just really cool. And I think any website, once you start saving things to your wish list and curating things, it will sort of, the algorithm will sort of pick up on that and suggest things that you like, which is always helpful because, as I said, there is a sea of things on this website, like 10,000 things, for example, in this category under $500, and the reality is we just don't have time to search through all of that. So this can be a really good tool if you use it regularly, and it's definitely something I use when looking at interiors for clients, for unique pieces, adding a bit of interest to your home. So I think First Dibs is always my first go-to. The next one is Tamsin Johnson. So Tamsin Johnson is an interior designer in Sydney, and she collects, I think she has a background in like antique collection, and this website, her website with interior design things, has really cool, unique pieces. The website's a bit glitchy, but really cool, unique pieces from, I think a lot of it's from France and Europe and that sort of thing. But if you know her interiors, this is very much her sort of aesthetic, and there are so many cool pieces. Like even just these cane chairs. Unfortunately, she doesn't have pricing on the website. You do have to inquire, which in my mind makes me think that they're probably, you know, quite exy, but definitely worth having a look through. Again, just for inspiration. Like there's so many awesome pieces, and it really gives you sort of an idea of what is possible when it comes to interiors, and like to sort of think outside the box, so to speak. Yeah, this is again another one that I always kind of turn to. If you're in Sydney, she also has a lot of these pieces in her studio, because she has a showroom that she designed downstairs, I think, or sort of within the studio, and it would definitely be worthwhile going to have a look just to see the space, because the space is so cool itself. Her Instagram, if it's on here, I'm sure it is. Every website seems to have Instagram these days. Like this is her and her husband, and yeah, they're hella bougie, but their stuff is really unique and fun and playful. And you know, that's what interiors should be. It should be fun, and you shouldn't have to take things too seriously. And I think a lot of her stuff can be incorporated to sort of any style of home. I think that's cool. Even that's so simple, but then you have like a touch of these really cute lights, and then this collection of mirrors, and I am obsessed with these dining chairs. I think they're awesome. But again, just getting on interior designers' Instagram pages and things like that, and getting inspiration, and then trying to even source products that maybe have a similar aesthetic to what they're doing is a really great way to sort of explore your creativity and explore your aesthetic. Kimono is another really great secondhand vintage furniture website that you can go to for pretty much everything. So you've got furniture, lighting, decor, art. Again, there's like a million products on here, but really fun to just sift through and see what people are selling. And again, finding stuff that fits within your budget can be done through the filters, but there's just so many really great pieces that I think provide so much inspiration just by going through and seeing what's out there and letting your mind juices start ticking. Let's have a look at lighting and see what they've got in lighting. Yeah, like so cool, so interesting. You know, some really, I love those. I'm going through a bit of a glass crystal phase at the moment, but just some really cute pieces that you could pick up, add to your home, and it's just probably pieces that you're gonna have for a really long time because they're interesting and they're made well and they're genuine. So again, Kimono, another great website. The next is moving on from vintage to a store called, I want to say Provider Store, but I feel like it's pronounced differently. Anyway, this is a store in Surrey Hills that has amazing, really great quality Japanese products. So it's run by a woman, I can't remember her name, but she sources everything from Japan, and it's just such a great selection. Like, I really love Japanese interiors and just the simplicity and beauty of Japanese products, and this is a really, really great website if you're looking for that sort of authenticity when it comes to products. It's really beautifully curated and there's always like new pieces being introduced into the store. So let's have a look at what they have at the moment. So they've got some really beautiful bath towels, ceramics. I think a lot of this stuff is handmade as well, and I just think this is also a really great store for gift giving. If you're looking to buy something for someone for a birthday or whatever the occasion is, this store is so, so good. It's like, even, I mean, look at these socks, bloody hell. The Japanese just do it so well, so, so well. And they really do have a lot of options for everything. They have kitchenware, homeware, you know, some clothing pieces. Just such a good store. I mean, how beautiful are these vases? And I think while some things are on the more expensive end, there are definitely pieces that are really affordable, and you know that they're good quality, and you know that that's something that's sort of timeless. So I would definitely recommend checking that store out. Excuse me. Okay, going back in the direction of sort of antiques and vintage is the Vault in Sydney. This is sort of in line with Tams & Johnson's aesthetic. It's a lot of collectibles and antiques that have been sourced from overseas, but they just have some really great pieces. I will preface this by saying that they're definitely on the more expensive end of the spectrum, but I think even if you found one piece that you really loved, like these bar stools are so cool. You know, not actually like super crazy up there, but I think, as I said, if you find a few pieces or one piece that you really love that you want to have as an investment piece, this is definitely a great store to look for some really beautiful pieces. Like, even these beautiful antique vessels and pots and bowls are so, so nice. Some beautiful mirrors. These chairs are so cute. Yeah, they just, again, have a really beautiful collection of pieces that you can sort of sift through. And I believe they do have a store that you can go and visit, a showroom, I should say, that you can go and visit. And I think going would be really great just to see the quality, to see the collection, you know, to even speak to the owners or the people that work there, just to have an understanding of how they source these pieces, and building that relationship with them so that you can then sort of request certain pieces if there's something specific that you're looking to incorporate into your home or for a client, for example. But yeah, again, I think the Vault is such a great store and has such a beautiful collection of pieces. And I think there's always something so amazing about buying secondhand pieces or antique pieces that have a story behind them. And even if you were to speak to the people from the store, they might be able to tell you the history of it. And that's something that you can then tell people when it's in your home. And it just adds that layer of sort of character to it. So I really love the Vault. And I think definitely a good one for those really kind of ornate, unique pieces. Next is the Design Arc. This is based in, I think, like Kingsford, Kensington in Sydney. It's like a big warehouse where they have a lot of mid-century pieces. Really cool, again, to go in and see how everything's curated, and they have a really great selection. Obviously, you know, in these warehouses, you do need to sort of sift through. Not everything is great and not everything will fit your aesthetic, but there are definitely pieces that I think really sort of universal and beautiful classic pieces that you can have in your home for years to come. A lot of great pieces. Again, these sort of warehouses are always getting new stuff in. They're always, I think, every week getting shipments in. It's definitely good to visit these places often, I would say, because if you go in one weekend and they don't have everything that you want, or if you're looking for something specific, you honestly might go back the next weekend and you'll find what you're looking for. So just keep that in mind when visiting these sort of vintage stores. The next two that I want to share with you are actually, sorry, the brightness is not great. Massive warehouses in Alexandria. And again, they are a bit of like a junkyard vibe, but there is so much stuff in there that you can find. So the first one is Mitchell Road Antiques, which again has just mountains of stuff. Like just here, you can see the store here. It's just inside is full of just mid-century, eclectic, vintage, antique pieces, like some sort of kitsch pieces, funny homeware pieces. And even if you don't find anything, it's so fun just to go in there and see what they have. Even this reminds me so much of my childhood. Like these look like little egg cup holders, which I used to have as a kid, and there's just so much good stuff and it's so fun to go through. Like there's a lot of crap, but you know, it's fun. It's such a good experience to go with someone or go by yourself and see what they've got. Massive warehouse full of these pieces. As you can see, it's just layers upon layers of stuff. And again, you've really got to sift through, but even if you're not looking for something specific, I guarantee you'll end up leaving with something because there's just so many random pieces. I mean, like how good is that sofa? That's so cool. Even like, I don't even mind that fabric, but you could get it reupholstered into like a really cool pattern fabric or something. And if you see something on their Instagram, you can just leave a comment or message them. You can see people are doing that here, and you can literally buy through the Instagram page. So that's also a really fun one. Those big warehouses. I wish we had more of them in Sydney. I feel like this is very an American thing where there's so many awesome vintage stores and antique showrooms, whereas in Australia, or in Sydney at least, I feel like we don't have that many, and it's also some of them would be quite expensive. So I would love to even do a trip to like LA or, you know, wherever in America to find some really cool pieces. I think that would be so much fun. Next, I want to talk about Facebook Marketplace, which if you're not on it, you need to get on it, because I know it can be really overwhelming trying to find pieces on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or those sort of online websites. But honestly, Facebook Marketplace, once you start searching for pieces and using it regularly, the algorithm again picks up on things that you really like and will start to sort of curate your feed for you. So for example, if I type in, again, mid-century modern furniture, there are people selling some really great stuff. And again, it's a matter of sifting through, but it's way more affordable than a lot of the sort of vintage stores and much more curated showrooms that you find around. And while things don't stay up for very long on Facebook Marketplace, you do have to be kind of savvy and kind of get in there and get onto the seller straight away, and you have to commit. That's the thing. If you're kind of umming and ahhing about it, it's most likely going to be sold. But for example, like this armchair, what's this? Let's see. Like that's a cool chair if you had it reupholstered and kind of cleaned up the timber a bit. Facebook Marketplace is about visualizing things and how you can make them better and how you can have them in your home with the pieces that you already have to sort of balance each other out. And they even have an option for like saved items. So you can see, for example, this is my saved items page, and so much stuff has already been sold. And honestly, I didn't save it that long ago. So you can see that how you kind of have to jump on there pretty quickly, but there's just some really great stuff. And it's also great to give things a second life. I mean, I just don't see the point in going out and buying all this new furniture when there's these beautiful pieces online that you can have restored that are gonna add a lot more interest to your home, and it's fun. It's so fun shopping for this stuff. It's a wormhole. I can be on here all day and there's so many pieces that I want to buy. Lastly, the website that I am going to is Etsy. So I love Etsy so much. There is so much unique stuff from sellers all around the world that you can look through. There's, I mean, millions of items on there that you can sift through to find the perfect piece for your home. And the first store that I'm going to talk about is Italy Vintage Dream. As you can see, there's really like eclectic mix of ornate like objects and really cool old photo frames. Like even just getting some cute photo frames is just like, I think that's just so, they're so cool. They're so much more interesting than just going to IKEA and buying those hideous white frames, the ones that everyone has. You know, you can just get these and take out the art that's in them and put your own in, and it just looks so cool. So as you can see, I just really like how they've curated this. It feels like my auntie's house where she has a lot of like old stuff, but it's all really interesting. Visualizing it in your space, it's so much fun. Next is Nusha Vintage. Is that how you say it? Nusha Vintage. So this one is in Melbourne, Victoria. So if anyone watching in Australia, it's a local one, which I think it can be hard to find good local vintage stores in Australia. I think it's like, I don't know, it's just, there's not enough good stuff here, but this is a really cute curation of stuff. They've got a lot of small things like these little bubble candle holders, these cute little dishes. And I think it's pretty affordable for like these really beautiful pieces. Some cute glassware. This stuff is so nice. What else have they got? I actually just want to have a look. Pin holders. Yeah, I really like this store. These plates are so cute, and you could even mount them on your wall as like another way of having an artwork as opposed to, you know, whatever else you got up there. Next is Opa. I think that's like, what does that mean? Grandma and grandpa? I'm not sure. So this store is based in Ukraine, and a lot of these pieces are very rustic, if that's the vibe that you're into. I think when you see interiors that have like too much of this stuff, it's definitely overkill. It's like really nice to have just a few pieces. Like there's some really beautiful little old vessels and things that you could use as a vase, or just have a couple of them clustered together, which makes for a really interesting sort of mantle, or if you have it on open shelving, that's also really nice. And there's so many options. And again, I think there are some expensive pieces on here, but some are affordable as well. And I've bought a few of these vessels and I still have them and I love them. And hang on, I'm just gonna go and get them. So these are the ones that I bought. So I bought this pot. You can see it's just so beautiful, and it's so nice to have these sort of vintagey pieces in the home. You can put some beautiful flowers in there, or just have it sitting by itself. And then again, I bought this bowl, which I love. This is my favorite out of the pair, and and it's just, I don't know, I kind of feel sentimental about them because I bought them from Ukraine before the war started, and I just wonder what happened to the people that were running the Etsy store that I bought this from. It's great to get onto these Etsy stores and support small businesses. That's always the plus to buying these pieces as opposed to just shopping from huge suppliers like West Elm and Pottery Barn. So yeah, something to think about, I think. The next store is Eclectic Inventory, which again has a really nice curation of like glassware, some like little artworks and photo frames and ashtrays and things. And yeah, it can just be really fun to have a look at what they've got, and it's fun to buy little pieces that you can have on display in your home or use when you have people coming over. Just a really nice selection of things. What else have they got? Yeah, some cute stuff. I really like these glasses. Let's have a look at these. They're so cute. I love the little bubbles in them. I'm gonna save that. That would be such a good housewarming gift to give someone, or a birthday present. It's always good to get glassware and to receive glassware. I think building up a little collection. Next is Curated Vintage Store. So again, a mix of random kitsch kind of pieces. Actually, you know what? These look like literally dolls pieces, like dollhouse pieces. That's so weird. I don't know what. I'm so confused. Has this just been like scaled down? Why does everything look like it's for a dollhouse? Anyway, okay, that's fun. Yeah, so they've just got all these kind of kitsch pieces, but I think again, you can sift through and find some really interesting stuff. Like that mirror is really cool. That looks like it's off an old wardrobe or something. Yeah, that's so cool. Antique House Crafts. Again, this has got some really cool vases and glassware. Stuff that I think you just don't find at your local thrift store, or when you're looking on Etsy, there's so much stuff coming from overseas that maybe you don't have access to in your country or where you live. And again, it's so fun to support other people who are curating this stuff. Lastly, the store is Mujo Store. So again, this is a very Japanese inspired, I think, store, but they have really beautiful stuff. Like even this hand woven basket is so beautiful, and you could have this in your home for just like newspapers or to store things, and it just looks so beautiful on its own. Just that detailing is so nice. Again, everything looks like it's really beautifully made, and just a nice, really beautiful curation and collection of pieces that I think, again, supporting small businesses, having really beautiful pieces that you can gift or have in your home. They've got some cute little artworks. Really nice. So they are some of my favorite interior design stores, platforms, shops, whatever you want to call them. Unique pieces for your home or for gifts or friends or family. It's just a really great way to see how other people are curating things, and that gives me so much inspiration to see something that maybe you wouldn't normally pick, but when you see it curated in a certain way, you can then begin to visualize it in your home, in your space. And that's what it's about, to develop your aesthetic, your interior design aesthetic. It's about doing that research and seeing how things can be used in different ways. That's my spiel. I hope it was helpful in some way. And yeah, I really encourage you to sort of, if you're thinking about redoing your space or getting into more homewares and interiors and things, to jump on these websites and see if there's anything that tickles your fancy. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, I would love if you could give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be uploading videos every week, and I would love to have you follow along and to get to know you. So thanks again, and until the next video, have a lovely day. Bye.